Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, September the 9th. Friday, September 9th. Not so much cliffhanger Friday, but you know what? Talk happens, right? It was some talk going on. We had Rory taking the little personal belongings bag or manila folder into Spencer for Spencer to put his personal belongings in. And he says, look, you may want to leave your personal belongings here because at Pittenville, the personal belongings sometimes, a lot of the times, goes missing. So if you have some things you want to keep, you may want to keep them here in the envelope versus at Pittenville's envelope. So Spencer was like giving Rory attitude the whole time, but took off his watch, took out his wallet, took his bracelet off, and if it was a bracelet, but just took his personal belongings off and put it in the bag. And Roy said, "Well, you might want to leave your phone here." I'm keeping my phone. He's keeping his phone until he has to absolutely give it up, right? Okay. So then Rory says, you before he walks out, he says, it seems that, when I came out, you and Trina were in real deep conversation there. Is everything okay? I mean, and Rory Spencer goes, look, Trina, I'm going to Pittenville. Trina and I don't even know if he said they're just friends, but you're fine, Rory. You're fine. And Roy's like, well, no, I know I'm okay. He wasn't questioning his and Trina's relationship, but really, guess what? He was. Because otherwise you wouldn't have even said anything to Spencer. You were kind of questioning, are you trying to get with my girlfriend now? Or what are you trying to do? That's really what that was all about. But Spencer didn't budge, didn't give him anything on it. So then we have Sonny meeting with Victor, and Sonny wanted to question Victor about Ava. And he wanted to know, did Victor or Nicholas have anything to do with Ava? And Victor's like, first he said, Spencer's going to Pittenville. I want to make sure that you're also going to be looking out for, our nephew, my nephew in Pittenville. And Victor's like, we Cassadines know how to take care of our family. And then Sonny's like, yeah, so what happened to Ava? What about Ava? Can't prove that to me. And so Victor's like, looked at Sonny. And Sonny said, did you and Nicholas have anything to do with it? And Victor's like, as if I would tell you. He's like, Nicholas and his wife are fine. Nicholas would never do that to his wife. They are fine. And he goes, really? Because last time I took Avery to visit her mother, I took her to the Metro Court because that's where Ava was staying. So it doesn't seem like they're too fine for me. He says, but I'm just going to tell you this, Victor. I'm going to tell you this. If I find out that you or Nicholas had anything to do with the attempt on Ava's life, then you both are going to have me to answer to. Yeah, so right? So Victor just looked at him, and Sonny gets up and says something a little flippant to him and then walks away, right? So Victor's just looking like, well, for one, it wasn't us, which is interesting. It's not, he doesn't know if it was Nicholas, but he honestly believes it wasn't Nicholas. I guess he just knows it wasn't him. So now I'm believing it must not be him, right? Nicholas shows up at GH trying to get into Ava's room, and the bodyguard is like, oh, I'm sorry, your name is not on the list. And Nicholas looks and he goes, wait, what? He goes, oh, I can't let you in there. your name's not on the list. And Trina was there too. She came right after Nicholas got there to come see Ava. And he goes, look, I know your boss doesn't want me in there, but that is my wife. And so the bodyguard says, oh no, Mr. Corinthos had you on the list. It was Mrs. Cassadine, or even he may have said Mrs. Jerome, Miss Jerome, uh, said to remove your name. She doesn't want you in her room. And Trina's like, oh, how? And so Trina walks up and she goes, oh, okay, so I understand. Ava doesn't want any visitors right now. I'm good. Can you just tell her I came by? And he goes, oh, no, you can go right on in. She's expecting you. Nicholas stands there and he looks like, what the heck just happened here? What happened? And Trina just, oops, she walks right on in. she and Ava hug and they talk and, they go on. And Nicholas is like, he tells Trina, look, can you tell my wife that I'm going to the PCPD to see Spencer off to Pentonville and I'll be back. Perhaps she'll be ready to see me then. So Trina and Ava talk. And of course, she talks about, how she got reinstated back into college. Her parents had a party for her, but there was an unexpected guest that showed up. And then they talk about Spencer. And I was surprised that Ava told Trina that, oh, Spencer has been on your side from the beginning, that he only was with Esme to try to get the goods on Esme. He believed you were innocent and was trying to work to prove your innocence from the beginning. And she goes, because she told her about there was this letter and then it dropped and then I had it. And Spencer didn't want me to read it, even though it had my name on it. I really want, he said that, we did it part that we are friends, but I want to know what could have been in it. And so Ava's like, well, this is probably in it. And she just told her, right? And Trina's like, oh my goodness. What should I do? Spencer's getting taken to Pittenville. Oh my God, what should I do? And Ava says, I can't tell you what to do. You have to make that choice yourself, Trina. But just understand and really think about it. Think about what decisions you're going to make. Think about the ramifications of these decisions, because you are in a good place right now. You're in like a new relationship, so, but nobody can tell you what to do, where your heart is, you make your choice. And Trina goes rushing out of there, right? Now, we spend quite a bit of time with, for one, Cody and Britt. Boring. Britt's telling him Mac was asking questions about him, and then he was talking about why would he be asking questions about me? And she's like, for one, he's chief of police. They're trying to solve an attempted murder. And so he goes, you did give me an alibi, right? She goes, no, I didn't give you no alibi. And so he goes, oh my goodness, well, the best thing would be for me to get out of town. And Britt's thinking, why would you go jump to that? If you're innocent, why would you automatically say, I got to get out of town? And he goes, they always want to put it on the new person in town. And I'm thinking, really? I didn't really realize that, but okay, especially since you, Mr. New Person in Town, you don't even know Ava at all. Mr. New Person in Town, goodness. So they go back and forth with the talk. And meanwhile, Maxie and Felicia are talking, and Mac is saying no, he doesn't want to know because it's just could uproot his life, and he already raised two girls, and Maxie's like, yeah, but you could have your own flesh and blood. I mean, your own relative. Yes, you did a great job with me and Georgie, but we weren't yours. You're like our dad, but it would be great if you had your own, flesh and blood. So, she goes, but look, I have to leave. Mom, thanks for babysitting. I'll let you two talk. And she leaves. And Felicia, talks to Max some more about, wait, what's really going on? What's really going on? And he says, Felicia, we're in such a good place right now. My life is in a really good place. And if in fact he is my son, this is going to change everything. Is going to change the dynamic. Now I have to get used to this other person, learn about him. He has to learn about me. And he was just said, I just don't know if I'm up for this, up for the change. I don't like change, which was interesting. So Maxie gets to GH, and that's where Cody and Britt are still talking. And Cody's like, or Britt says, well, you just be careful. I think you should just talk to um, Detective Scorpio, or Chief of Detectives Scorpio. He says, unless you plan on punching him in the nose like you did Scott Baldwin. And he's like, maybe he deserves a good punch in the nose. And Maxie heard it. Maxie's like, wait a minute, what? What are you talking about, punching my Uncle Mac in the nose? And he's like, well, it was just a figure of speech. So she goes, ooh. And she goes, he was asking a bunch of questions about me. And she goes, he's the chief of detectives. Yes, he's asking questions. Just answer the questions. Goodness. Like, what is the big deal? Go to him, answer his questions, he'll be done with you. So Cody doesn't know if he really wants to do that, but he walks out. And then it had a scene of him on the phone saying, I'm sorry, we got off on the wrong foot. Can we meet? I really don't think that's Mac that he's talking to, but we shall see who he was talking to. We still have Dante and Sam, unpacking stuff, looking for stuff. Nothing really interesting happened with those two at all, just chit chat talking. So the most interesting part was Spencer waiting to be, taken away. Nicholas arrives at the PCPD, and Spencer's like, oh, no, you get out of here right now. What are you doing here? I don't want to see you. I want you gone. He goes, Spencer, I'm your father. I came to see you off, to Pittenville. No. And he goes, get out of here. And he goes, you have no loyalty. And he's just yelling at Nicholas. And Victor comes rushing in. He goes, would you too low? Because Spencer tells him, you don't get out of here now. I'm walking right out this door, and I'm telling Commissioner Ashford why you and Ava were arguing, what the subject was about. I'm going to tell it all. And Victor comes in, lower your voice, both of you. And no, you're not going to say anything, Spencer. Absolutely. We have gone over this. And Victor is like, you were going to keep your mouth shut. And Spencer's looking at Nicholas around Victor, and he's looking at Victor, and he's like, oh, all right. And so then he turns to Nicholas and he goes, Nicholas, I think it's best for you to leave. And Nicholas is kind of like, this is my son. And he goes, no, I think it's best for you to leave. Okay. So Nicholas reluctantly leaves, and then Victor just says, my boy, you know what? You really have to keep your emotions in check. I mean, as a matter of fact, during some of your drinking you've been doing, did you spill the news to anybody else? And Spencer's like, no, I haven't told anyone. I haven't said anything, Uncle Victor. So Victor ends up also saying his goodbyes to Spencer and leaving. And then Rory comes in and he says that it's time. It's time for the transport. So Spencer walks out into the outer area where the detective desks are, and where you come into the precinct, and he stops, and Rory said, what's wrong? And Spencer said, I just thought more people would be here. And then the camera shows pretty much the empty precinct, just maybe Jordan talking to an officer in the back, or another officer talking to another officer off on the other side. But there was no Josh, Cam. He was really looking for Trina. That's who he was really looking for. No Trina. And so he's sad. And at this time, Trina is still talking to Ava, And Trina realizes, oh no, I gotta get there. I gotta get there. So she goes tearing off to the PCPD. By the time she gets there, Spencer is gone. And she goes, am I too late? And Roy's looking at her like, yeah, you missed him. He's gone. He's been transported. Oh no, oh no. And Roy is looking like, why are you looking like this? What's going on here? Trina. So she's gonna have to explain herself on Monday, as to why she's all broken down, why it was so important for her to see him now, you know. So then they had a scene and it made me kind of sad. The scene was poor Spencer in his yellow jumpsuit, his Pittenville yellows, the one piece. So let's hope. Let's hope they don't have this go completely sideways while he's in Pittenville for 3 months. I'm a bit nervous about that. I don't know what they're going to do with Spencer, what they're going to have happen, but I'm hoping it's not going to be anything. So that was it today. Let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Let's see what we have here. LaShunta says, Ava told Trina about Spencer, but Josh should have. I think Josh should have stayed out of that. Let's stay out of that. And then she goes, she ran and Roy said he's gone. Yep, he is gone. And then we have Jane. Jane kind of talked about a couple of older episodes. I guess she saw that was the trial. Jane was watching the trial. And she was just kind of talking about, the scenes, those touching scenes between Spencer and Trina looking at each other. Yeah. I mean, those were some emotional times. I remember that, Jane. I know what you're saying. Those were some good episodes. That was good scenes. I was really liking it. And then we have Jane gave a comment, because remember I said, what female could be out there, where Mason was telling Austin she wants you back in Nixon, in Potok, and so she said maybe it's a Zakara. You know what? Maybe it's a Zakara relative. I don't know. I really don't know. Then she said, could Faison be back because his daughter has an illness? Faison has never cared about Britt like that at all. Never has. Then we have, yes, yeah, it was preempted yesterday. So this really wasn't Cliffhanger Friday. Really, this would have been yesterday's episode, but everyone was paying their respects for the death of Queen Elizabeth II. So yes, this is actually Thursday's episode. Let's see, we also have, let's see. Yes, Richard agrees with me. He said, great review, and Anna is definitely being selfish and putting Lucy in danger. I'm saying that, yes, she is. And Lucy is not equipped for that. Not equipped at all. And then Lisa equates David's character like a character that used to be on One Life to Live. His name was David Vickers. He was a con man and ended up somehow they wrote it in as Bo's long lost son that he never even knew. But the mechanics took him in. Mac will definitely take Cody in. And then let's see, this Chemo Beauty said Dante and Sam's relationship is a little too close for her. We got Sam is with him, and Sam used to be pregnant by him, by Sonny. And then she says, and they both share a sister, Christina. Sam is Christina's sister and Christina's Dante's sister. But guess what? Look, there is no improprieties there. We've got Sam and Alexis. That's her mother. And Sam and Christina's father are completely different. We've got Dante. Dante's mother is Olivia. Yes, Sonny's his father, but hey, so they only share Christina by Alexis and Sonny. So Dante and Sam could have kids and there's not a problem. Okay, you know what I'm there. They're not related, they're not relatives. Then we also have uh Lisa said maybe it's Helena Cassadine that Austin is working for. Stranger things have happened in General Hospital. Stranger things have happened. Monique says she loves and hates Carly at the same time, even if that is possible. That the third Carly in 2005, her name was Jennifer, the actress. They've actually had like four. The original Carly that came to town when she got with Jason, that was a whole different actress. So I think there were four Carlys, um, possibly five, but for sure four. Michael Armstrong says Austin's mystery is becoming interesting. Do the Gatlins have a mob connection? Maybe. Some General Hospital spoilers say it's Donna Day. Oh my goodness. Let's hope that's not coming back. Why does Dominique have to have no knowledge of being pregnant? Instead, Leopold could have just told her baby died, at birth. They're trying to make it too complicated. I know. A simple, maybe a diary discovery could tie up some loose ends. Yeah. Dominique could have wrote this diary, got out of Shady Brook. I was pregnant, hiding my pregnancy out because I loved Max Scorpio, and I know this is his baby, but my baby died on delivery. I'm heartbroken, but I must go on with my life. That sounds good. Sounds plausible. I am with you with the whole diary thing, Michael. And then Jane says, wouldn't it be great if Nina had triplets? Even though we don't know Esme's true age, she's not as old as Willow and Nell. She's much younger than them, much younger. And then Susan, let's see. Susan thinks that Mason could be talking to Selena Wu. Possibly. I mean, Selena is a she, and Selena's organization runs deep. It may not just be in Port Charles. Maybe Selena's running something in Poltok. So we'll see. We'll see. But this Chemo Beauty said, she did a reply to that comment. She thinks that Miss Wu would come for Austin herself. That's right. Miss Lou's little car would come creeping up beside Austin. She'd roll down that window nice and slow, and she'd say, "Get in." That's Selena Wu, 100%. Let's see. I think that is it. Oh, I do have a comment from Carol. Carol was the one that said that I was wrong, and I asked her to reply because I didn't know if I got a fact wrong or what was it. Carol did reply. She says, I am definitely prejudiced against Nina. You are Team Carly. Yes, I am. I am definitely Team Carly. And I'm proud of that. And then she says, I am not going to watch you and I should not be doing the spoiler. Well, Carol, what I want to say is this is entertainment. Seriously, this is not serious. I am having fun talking about my favorite soaps. It's all fun. I am making fun of the writing, making fun of the character. It's all fun. Now, when I say I'm Team Carly, I do not know Laura Wright. Don't know her. Okay. Because in reality, there is no Carly. There is no Nina. They're just acting. And I'm just having fun with the plots and the stories that we are given. I'm not going to apologize for that. We all have our likes and we all have our dislikes. Some people love Nina, that's fine. Some people love Alexis, that's fine. Some people love Olivia, Monica Quartermain. Some people love Brits. I mean, we all have our favorites. And that's why they have so many different characters on soap operas. and so many lives and so many stories. They want the stories they write for these characters to connect with a number of different people and personalities on a emotional level. Period. They're doing it for ratings. They're doing it for dollars. They're doing it for ad space they're selling. I'm just doing this to have fun with my fellow GH fans and those of us that love GH and those of us that love talking about the characters. So, Carol, I hate to see you go. Hopefully, you don't go. But there are so many other YouTubers that are doing recaps and spoilers and everything else. I'm sure there is someone that will tell the story the way you prefer to hear it. And that's okay. That is okay. Because I choose to just have some fun the way I tell it. And I am definitely Team Carly. That's it. So everyone listen, have a great weekend. I am certainly going to have fun continually bringing my version of what's happening on General Hospital. Some of my predictions as to where the stories may or may not go. I love us diving into history sometimes. I love that. I just really have not had a big trivia that I've wanted to pose right now. I will think of one next week because we haven't had a trivia in quite some time. So I'll think of some kind of trivia, some kind of GH trivia that we can talk about. But with that being said, everyone have a phenomenal weekend.